My name is Julie Ramos. I've lived in Adrian, Michigan all my life. I was born in Adrian.
Julie, can you tell us what brought your family to Lenawee County?
Prior to my mom and dad's marriage, they lived in Blissville. They lived with my grandparents, Victor and Maria Sanchez. After that time of marriage, they decided to bring themselves to Blissville, and where my dad sought work after he had served in the Korean War. Mom and Dad decided to raise their family in Blissville, and that's where the family was started at.
Did your family face any obstacles, whether it was discrimination or language barriers or name calling when they first arrived?
The biggest obstacle for my mom, like I stated, my dad served in the Korean War. My dad was employed in the Blissville manufacturing area, and then after found a job with the Blissville High School as a custodial worker. Dad was very fortunate to be able to go from the Korean War to establish his job with the school district. But the obstacle came when he passed away of a heart attack in 1967, February of 1967. My mother was left with 6 kids, pregnant with her last child. So language barrier was an obstacle, but raising 7 kids by herself was the biggest. I could say today that we were all raised respectfully with my mother by herself. She never remarried. 7 kids took a lot of her time, so she was able to see one go one at a time as we all proceeded to marry. Language barrier was difficult for her. When us children were in school, I don't ever remember her going to conferences. I don't remember her writing out any checks of any kind for bills or anything like that, because Mom didn't have but a fourth grade school education. But the important thing to her was that we all did. We had that. So when Dad passed away, she did stay home. We helped her as the kids with bills or understanding the language barrier, translations, so on and so forth. So that was tough. Today, she's 84 years old, still living, 84, and she will be 85 in October. Her language barrier is, as we call it, corto, because it starts in Spanish with a few words of English and then Spanish. But she does well. She can maintain herself on her own. So language barrier was the biggest.
So was Spanish the first language spoken in your home?
It was. Mom was very fluent in Spanish. Years after we made our home, Dad had passed away. My mother took care of her mother, who was from Mexico, and she only spoke Spanish, I'm sorry. She only spoke Spanish. So Spanish was a big thing with my mom and dad, and Spanish was also with my mother and grandmother. I really didn't catch on to Spanish till Grandma came to live with us and spoke only Spanish. And when being taken care of because she had cancer, she asked us to teach her English, and she was going to teach us Spanish. So today I tell my 3 daughters, I didn't learn till I was 13. It's never too late.
What kinds of family traditions do you still use today that your grandmother and your mother passed on to you?
I can remember as a kid, and with my dad gone. Today's generation, you have kids that hang out with their friends. Well, the generation that I continue to show with my kids is family, because I don't remember staying over a friend's house. I don't remember having a friend come over to spend the night. But I could not wait for my weekends because my cousins, the Villegases, the Lopeses, you know, they would come over with their abundance of kids, 7 kids, 5 kids, and that was our fun. That was our exciting weekend, and we always knew when that happened, a big dinner was going to come with that. So that was the tradition with the quinceañeras. I didn't have any as a child. I don't recall any of our family members having them, but showing our kids today, you know, my oldest daughter, Rebecca, did have a quinceañera. My other 2 daughters did not. But the significance of what a quinceañera is and the family tradition that we had when I was a young kid of our immediate family, cousins, and as we call in English, primos as we call in Spanish, and enjoying the dinners together, as well as the memories of when we were kids.
What did the dinners consist of? Did you make tamales? Did you learn to make tortillas?
Oh yeah, there was all of the tias. I tell my kids all the time, I can remember there was so many of us at the dinner table that we had a pile of tortillas on the right and a pile of tortillas on the left. And they were not from packages. They were homemade, and it consists of always what I call my rich dinner today. The rice and the beans, the hamburger meat with the papas, the fideo, we would get together and make the tamales at someone's house and just enjoy, after the tamales were cooked, the sit-down dinner to eat it. I loved it.
Do you make tamales and tortillas at home today?
Okay, tamales, yes. Tortillas, no. I have my sisters who do make the tortillas. It's something that I told myself I need to master one day. I'm very fortunate. I have my mother who lives with me. She still makes them. When I get the tortillas from the packets, she calls it my lazy way of making tortillas. But the homemade tortillas are still made at home.
Julie, I know you're a very modest person. What contributions do you believe you have made, and also to the county? And also, what contributions do you think Latinos, Mexicanos, Puerto Ricanos have made to Lenawee County?
The biggest thing, it's our culture. I have a lot of friends that will look at my get-togethers as we have birthday parties, and we have to rent a hall because there's too many of us family members, immediate family members. When I'm able to contribute by showing community members what the Latino culture is, and hear the excitement and the wow from people that are not familiar with the Latino culture, that makes me proud. It makes me very happy. The Latinos today, me being able to be bilingual is a big positive for me. I could be at a bank and see that someone having a language barrier is a problem. It's big for me to be able to have Latinos step up and intervene and say, how can I help you? Not only for the Hispanic person there, the Latino person who's there that's having that problem, but to help get that language barrier broken. The Latinos have done a lot with the migrant workers, the migrant community, who, with them, the migrant workers that are out there 6-7 days a week, 10-12-hour days, picking the fresh products for us. It's huge. It's a big contribution that they make, I feel.
Can you share anything else with us that you want future generations to know about you and about Lenawee County?
The one thing I did find, and I am proud to be able to share with my kids, this book from the Lenawee County Historical Museum was given to me, and I can't remember by who exactly, it's been so long ago. Inside are my dad's parents, Victor and Maria Sanchez, who were known to, and I'll just read a little bit, it says, Victor and Maria Sanchez are to be considered to have been among the first Hispanics to settle in Adrian since the 1920s, with the Hispanic population has grown. Today, well then, 5% of the total population. I take pride in this. I really didn't get to know my grandfather very well. I did get to meet my grandmother as I was in an older age, but this is big for me. It's big for I think it's big, I feel it's big for my kids and big for the Latino population that, though they were the first Mexican Americans to settle, it's something I like to share with my kids and with friends and family. I do serve on a school board. I serve at Madison School. I've been on the school board for 14 years. People ask, why? Why do I do it? I do it because I enjoy it. I do it because it's no different than helping the Latino Mexican at the community credit union who is having a language barrier. But it gives me pleasure. It gives me, it makes me feel good to be able to help a Latino who has kids in our school district that want to see their children succeed the same way my mom did, with an education, a diploma, and to be able to pursue, maybe in college, maybe in the military, for whatever they want to do, to be successful. I see many families in our district who they're migrant workers, but they work here and stay here to make sure that their kids can get that education and become something after than what they would say, a migrant worker. To me, a migrant worker is huge, but these parents, they want better for their kids. So it brings pleasure for me to be able to see that. I hope that there will be down the years when I decide to retire from the Madison School District, that Latinos will come up and serve on a school board and be able to help the language barrier there, help a parent come to a conference the way my mother couldn't, and be that language barrier for them and show them how their kids are being successful in school or not being successful in school. I think it's a huge part. It's huge, and it really makes me happy to be able to do that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.